Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. So thank you for joining today's Change for Climate Lunchbox Series session on air quality and health in Edmonton, and we're very glad to have you with us today. My name is Adam Holmes, and I'm here with my colleague, Karen Young, and we will both work in the Planning Environmental Services branch at the City of Edmonton. And we're also pleased to be joined by Selena Fairbank with Alberta Capital Airshed, who I'll introduce in just a moment. And please note that today's session is being recorded. And to begin, the City of Edmonton acknowledges the traditional land on which we reside is Treaty 6 territory. We thank the diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors' footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as the Nehiyaw, Dene, Anishinaabe, Nakota Iska, and Niitsitapi. We also acknowledge this as the Métis homeland and the home of one of the largest communities of Inuit south of the 60th parallel. It's a welcoming place for all people who come from around the world to share Edmonton as a home. And together we call upon all of our collective honored traditions and spirits to work in building a great city for today and for future generations. Great. So today's session will explore the importance of air quality, how it's monitored across the Edmonton region, ways to reduce air pollution, and how to be prepared for poor air quality days. I'm Adam Holmes. I'm a program coordinator with the Change for Climate program at the City of Edmonton. And with me is Selena Fairbank, engagement coordinator with Alberta Capital Airshed. And now, to start us off, I will turn the presentation over to Selena, who will walk us through why air quality matters and how air quality is monitored in Edmonton.
Thank you so much for having me. Today, we are going to talk about why air quality matters. We all breathe the same air. Air quality affects everyone every day, regardless of your age or background. There are health impacts associated with poor air quality, as Adam mentioned, and we will get more into that in the next slide as well. We also see vulnerable populations at a higher risk. Not everyone is impacted equally. Air quality can also impact our daily life. During poor air quality events, we may have to limit our outdoor activities and sports. I know lots of soccer games and baseball games get canceled. It can affect our school and work attendance. Maybe we're not feeling so well. It also drives up healthcare visits and costs. Lastly, we are also seeing an increasing frequency of poor air quality days due to wildfires and climate change. There are many health effects associated with poor air quality. These can include respiratory and cardiovascular effects, such as increased asthma attacks and bronchitis, worsening of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, higher risk of heart attacks and strokes, and reduced lung function, especially in children. It can also have neurological and brain effects. We're seeing an increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia in older adults, links to depression and anxiety disorders, impacts on children's brain development and attention span. Research also shows impacts on reproductive and fetal health, with increased risk of low birth weight, higher rates of preterm birth, and air pollution particles have even been found in the placenta. We also see immune and metabolic effects like inflammation throughout the body due to chronic exposure, increased insulin resistance and higher risk of type 2 diabetes, and impaired immune response, especially in children. Long-term exposure is also linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. Vulnerable populations are more affected by poor air quality. This includes people like children and infants, as they have smaller lungs with higher respiratory rates and developing organs. Older adults and seniors due to age-related decline in immune and respiratory function. People with chronic respiratory conditions such as asthma or COPD, people with cardiovascular disease, pregnant individuals and unborn babies, people with diabetes or other chronic illnesses, outdoor workers such as construction workers and landscapers due to prolonged exposure, athletes and active individuals who are exercising outdoors. They have increased inhalation of pollutants due to higher breathing rates. Low-income and marginalized communities, as they often live closer to pollution sources and may lack access to good healthcare, as well as people without access to clean indoor air, such as unhoused communities. So climate change and air quality are two issues which we often talk about separately, but in reality, they are deeply intertwined. First, as the climate warms, we're seeing more frequent and intense wildfires. These fires release large amounts of fine particulate matter into the air, which can travel great distances and pose serious health risks. Next, rising temperatures play a major role in worsening urban smog. When it gets hotter, it accelerates the formation of ground level ozone, which is a harmful pollutant. It builds up especially in cities due to traffic and industrial emissions. Finally, changing weather patterns, including longer stretches of hot, dry, and stagnant conditions, can trap pollutants near the ground for extended periods. This leads to more days with poor air quality alerts. The combined effects of these changes mean we're seeing more air quality challenges and more days where the air we breathe poses serious health risks, particularly for our most vulnerable populations. Looking deeper into the connection between air quality and climate change, the air pollutants on the left-hand side of the Venn diagram affect air quality and human health, but don't significantly contribute to global warming. These include sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, ammonia, and volatile organic compounds. The climate drivers on the right-hand side of the Venn diagram drive global warming, but are not significantly harmful to health. These include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases. The pollutants in the middle that overlap are both air pollutants and climate drivers, impacting both human health and contributing to global warming. These include ground level ozone, fine particulate matter, black carbon, and nitrogen oxides. So this table highlights those key air pollutants and shows how climate change can exacerbate their presence and impact. It's really important to understand this interaction because as our climate changes, the challenges associated with air quality are likely to intensify. So first we have fine particulate matter, or PM 2.5. These are tiny airborne particles that can be inhaled really deep into your lungs. Major sources include wildfires, which obviously we've seen a lot of in the last few years, vehicle exhaust, and dust. So climate change is projected to increase the frequency and intensity of wildfires due to hotter and drier conditions, which is going to increase our PM 2.5 levels. Next, we have ground level ozone. So unlike stratospheric ozone layer that protects us from UV radiation, ground level ozone is a harmful secondary pollutant. It forms through chemical reactions in the presence of sunlight between nitrogen dioxide and volatile organic compounds. So as climate change drives up average temperatures, we can expect to see more days with elevated ozone levels. Black carbon is a type of particulate matter formed from the incomplete combustion of fossil fuels. Key sources include diesel engines and fires. Black carbon has a dual impact. First, it's a potent, short-lived climate forcer, meaning it absorbs sunlight and contributes to warming in the atmosphere. However, it also has negative health effects. Increased wildfires due to climate change will also lead to higher levels of black carbon in the atmosphere. Lastly, we have nitrogen dioxide. This is a primary pollutant directly emitted from combustion sources, such as vehicle emissions and industrial activities. So while climate change doesn't directly increase the emission of NO2 in the same way it does for wildfire-related pollutants, it can influence its concentration. So the stagnant air masses that we mentioned, which can become more frequent or prolonged under certain climate change scenarios, they can trap pollutants like NO2 near the ground, which leads to higher local concentrations. So understanding these connections between climate and air quality is vital for developing effective strategies that can help mitigate both air pollution and climate change. Actions that reduce fossil fuel combustion, prevent wildfires, and promote cleaner industrial processes can have co-benefits, improving both air quality and helping to stabilize the climate. So now that we've explored why air quality matters to our health and environment, as well as the connection between air quality and climate change, let's talk about how we monitor and manage it locally. So this brings us to the concept of airsheds. These are regional zones that help us understand and address air quality. I'm next going to show a really short video clip that was produced by the Alberta Airsheds Council. Let's see if it plays.
What is an airshed? There are 10 regional airshed organizations in Alberta. Airsheds are important to have in our communities because air pollution poses the largest environmental health risk to us. The health risks include breathing and lung problems, heart conditions, and increased risk of stroke. Airsheds keep an eye on local air quality by monitoring air pollutants and by measuring weather conditions. They report and share this data with governments, Indigenous communities, academics, the public, industries, and other interested stakeholders. This information is also used to determine the Air Quality Health Index, which lets us know if the outside air poses a risk to our health. Alberta Airsheds inform decision-making, teach the public about the importance of clean air, and work with the communities they're a part of. They're a vital contributor to managing air quality. Learn how you can get involved with your local airsheds by visiting our website, albertaairshedcouncil.ca.
Okay, that was what airsheds in Alberta are. We're going to focus now on Alberta Capital Airshed, the organization I work with. So we are a not-for-profit, multi-stakeholder organization. We monitor, report, evaluate, and educate on air quality. We are an independent organization and work in the public interest. Our major stakeholder groups include municipalities and industry. We also have public members from academia, not-for-profits, and other community groups. The government of Alberta is also one of our partners. So our primary roles include the collection and reporting of ambient air data, communications and education, and management of air quality issues. We also operate a large network of continuous monitoring stations and other monitoring technology throughout the capital region. So on the left is the map of ACA. Our boundaries are outlined in blue. The green dots are all of the microsensors that we operate, and the blue dots, which are a little bit hidden, are our continuous monitoring stations. We have 7 permanent continuous monitoring stations, with 5 of those being in the Edmonton and St. Albert area, and 2 in the Athabasca region. We also operate a portable monitoring station that we deploy to various locations in the region. It's currently operating on Enoch Cree Nation. We also have 60 fine particulate microsensors operating throughout the region. Those are that little picture at the bottom right. So these different air monitoring methods all collect valuable data on air quality in our region. I'll also mention, you can see our Macaulay station, it's downtown Edmonton. This artwork that's displayed on our station was created in collaboration with Canadian Women in Design. And we have 3 stations throughout the presentation that are displayed, and you can see the artwork on those. As you also heard in the video, ACA is one of the 10 airsheds within Alberta, and together they form the Alberta Airsheds Council. Airsheds operate over 90 continuous monitoring stations and hundreds of other monitoring sites that measure a variety of air quality parameters using an assortment of monitoring technologies. Approximately 88% of Alberta's population actually lives within an airshed. So at ACA, we have a robust education and outreach program and engage with the community and our members in a variety of ways. We attend many of our member events throughout the year to share information about ACA and air quality. We have free educational resources available for teachers. Our Clean Air webinar series touches on various air quality topics of interest. Recordings are available on our website for all of our webinars. We are also active on social media. You can find us at AQHI Airshed on Instagram, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we also have a monthly newsletter that goes out, which you can sign up for on our website. So next, I'm going to share some useful real-time air quality tools. Real-time data is important. It empowers individuals and community leaders to make informed choices about your activities and protect yourself from potential harm. First, we'll talk about the Air Quality Health Index, or AQHI. The AQHI is a scale from 1 to 10 plus that denotes the health risk associated with the air quality, ranging from low risk to very high risk. There are health messages for both the general population and at-risk populations associated with each category as well. The AQHI is also forecast for the next 72 hours. So the data that we collect at our continuous monitoring stations is used to calculate the AQHI for our communities, as shown on our homepage of our website. And it's also reported to the government of Alberta and Canada and used on their websites and apps to report the AQHI. This is ACA's live data map. It provides up-to-the-minute information about current air quality. You can explore our microsensor data from our growing network of monitors. That will give you a detailed picture of particulate matter concentrations right down to the neighborhood level. On this image, they are currently blue dots, but they are colored according to the AQHI scale as well. You can also access the data from our continuous monitoring stations, which are the green bubbles. And that will show you data for all the pollutants that we collect at each station. We're also very close to releasing our new and upgraded live data map, so make sure to check it out in the coming weeks. So another useful map is the Alberta AQHI map. This provides the AQHI for many different communities across the province. The data used to calculate the AQHI for these communities primarily comes from Airshed operated continuous monitoring stations. Environment and Climate Change Canada also provides an air quality reading and forecast via their weather page or the WeatherCan app. So you can use this tool to plan your day and check the AQHI when you check your weather forecast. So I've mentioned microsensors throughout the presentation, but I thought before I share about our final real-time data tool, I'd elaborate a little bit more about what microsensors are. So we have a really large and ever-growing network of these fine particulate matter microsensors. Microsensor technology is affordable and accessible. It really helps us get monitoring right down to the community level. It can be deployed on houses, community leagues, any building that has a Wi-Fi connection and power. So the data can be really valuable for identifying potential hotspots and understanding the impact of local sources. Also involving the community when we deploy these sensors can foster a greater sense of ownership and awareness over air quality issues. So it is important to note, while they offer great data, it is considered to be complementary to the data we collect at our continuous monitoring stations. We always recommend individuals use their community AQHI alongside microsensor data when they are making air quality decisions. So this is the final real-time data tool I will mention today. This is the purple air map. So this displays the microsensor data. Our ACA live data map also incorporates most of the microsensors in the Edmonton region, and on our map you can also see the continuous stations. However, for communities outside ACA's boundaries, this map may be useful to you. You can see air quality from across the entire world wherever purple air microsensors have been deployed. So with real-time air monitoring tools like the AQHI and live data maps, we can better understand the air we breathe each day. So the next step is using that knowledge to make informed decisions and take meaningful action to protect our health and improve our air quality. Ultimately, the goal of understanding these air quality tools is to empower individuals and municipalities to take action. On a personal level, we can use the AQHI and local PM2.5 readings to make informed decisions about when and where to engage in outdoor activities, especially if we or our family members are sensitive to air pollution. At a community level, air quality data can help us identify potential sources, make decisions for public recreation or programs, and increase public awareness. We can also advocate for the continued expansion of air monitoring initiatives to build a more comprehensive understanding of the air we breathe. So what can we do? How can we improve air quality through sustainable actions? Individual and community level actions can collectively make a significant difference in reducing air pollution. Support clean and renewable energy options. Turn off your engine if you're stopped for more than a minute. You don't need to idle your vehicle when it's 30 degrees out. Sustainable urban planning, including active transportation and public transportation, helps minimize emissions from our vehicles. Conserve energy in your home. Engage in local environmental programs, such as community cleanups and tree planting. These can directly improve air quality and foster a healthier community and environment. Initiatives like the City of Edmonton's Neighboring for Climate program also demonstrate the power of local collaboration in driving positive change. I will share one final photo with you. This was taken last year on Clean Air Day when the high-level bridge was lit up in the AQHI scale colors. With that, that's everything I have to share. So thank you, Adam, for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was excellent. I always find it so interesting, fascinating how much different data, different air pollutants go into the data. We got a nice clean number on the AQHI level, but there's so much that goes into that that's monitored through the airshed. So that's fascinating. And I love what you've done with the monitoring stations. They look terrific. So that's really, really neat. Next, I'm going to walk through two exciting tools that Edmontonians can use to better understand and engage with air quality. So one is the AQHI Light, which actually I have on display behind me right here. If you can see, it's shining a nice blue right now, and we'll get into that, but that's good air today. So that's developed by the City of Edmonton, and as well as the AirBeam monitoring kit, which is available to borrow from Edmonton Public Libraries. And these are tools that raise awareness about how air quality affects our health. The AQHI Light gives you real-time air quality updates using a smart LED bulb, while the AirBeam lets you measure air quality while you're walking or biking, or at home, or exploring your neighborhood. So this photo here was taken in April 2021 from Edmonton Tower downtown, showing wildfire smoke blanketing the city. So unfortunately, it's events like this that are becoming more frequent. And according to Edmonton's 2024 Climate Perception Survey, which is a survey we run annually, 73% of Edmontonians recognize that climate change is increasing extreme weather events, especially heat waves and wildfire smoke. And as we've experienced, even distant wildfires can cause serious local air quality issues. So that's why it's so important to adapt to climate impacts, to protect our health, our well-being, and our neighbors and communities. The link on the screen is where you can see our reports of our annual report going back 8 years now. So how is the City of Edmonton responding? And what guides our work is these two key strategies. So the Community Energy Transition Strategy, which focuses on reducing greenhouse gas emissions and aims for net zero emissions by 2050. And in addition is the Climate Resilient Edmonton Adaptation Strategy, which helps us prepare for climate changes we're already experiencing. So tools like the AQHI Light and the AirBeam kits are part of this adaptation work, and they help build community awareness and make climate science accessible in a hands-on way. So we'll start with the AQHI Light. As I said, that's what I have set up behind me here. So what this is, it's a Wi-Fi enabled color changing light bulb that updates every 15 minutes using Alberta's Air Quality Health Index. So the map that Selena shared as well, the Alberta AQHI. So using a simple web application that's developed by the city, and we've made it available and free to use. You can choose from over 40 communities across Alberta to have you and help you set up your own AQHI Light. So it works anywhere where there's Wi-Fi. So it could be your home, classroom, or your community space. And it doesn't need to be outdoors. It's not an outdoor sensor itself. Again, it connects to a Wi-Fi connection and pulls the current reading from that map. So you set your community. So whether you're in Edmonton or any of the other communities on the map, you can set it to that location and get a visual indicator of what the air quality is at that time. So as Selena already covered very well, the AQHI scale, so it uses that scale. So it leverages the fact that it's that color-coded scale. So going from blue, which is that 1 to 3 AQHI, that low risk, to yellow, 4 to 6 is moderate risk, and up to orange, 7 to 10 for high risk, and that 10 plus in red is very high risk. So that's what the bulb will automatically do once you've set it up with the script. It'll check the map, and then it'll give that visual indicator of what the AQHI is. So the colors offer that quick visual way to decide, as Selena mentioned too in her presentation, how to modify your outdoor plans, whether you should limit physical activity, and make those lifestyle choices depending on what the current air quality health index is reporting. So how to get it set up? So to set up your own AQH Light, you'll need a few things. And we have a guide on our website, and I'll share the link with you shortly. So what you'll need is a LIFX or LIFX, pronounced LIFX, Wi-Fi enabled color bulb. So you can look for these at your local hardware stores or lighting stores, but it needs to be that brand of bulb because that connects with the LIFX cloud account, which is a free account you can set up to connect that with your LIFX bulb. You'll need a smartphone with the LIFX app. So it could be Android or iOS devices, and you can download the LIFX app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. And you'll need a Google account. So the script is Google-based. So if you have used Gmail, things like that, you'll just need to create your, have a Google account for that. And you'll need a Wi-Fi network connection. So there's no subscription cost to use the connection for this. The script that the city's made available is used for free. It's just the one-time cost of the bulb and your regular internet connection. So once you have those in place, the final piece is connecting the bulb using the city's AQHI script. So to get all this information, you can visit edmonton.ca/air quality, and there you'll find a link to our user-friendly step-by-step tutorial. And that'll walk you through these requirements as well, and the steps you take, and the link that's in there, the link to access that Google script. So you'll get a page from Google saying you authorize that with your Google account, and then the screenshot on the right of the screen here, that's what the interface looks like. It's very simple, and you get the LIFX token that's generated from that cloud account. You copy paste that into the field, that API token, choose the community, so choose the community or location you're in, and you hit this start install task button here, and that'll just let it automatically run. And so the bulb will just start changing color based on the current AQHI. And you can go back to it, you can update your location, you can change location and hit start again. And there's even buttons like running a color test that'll cycle through the colors as well to let you know that it's running and working. So yeah, encourage you to check out that setup guide. And what we've done with that, we've taken that AQHI Light into the community through custom lantern designs and these displays, which were created by the enclosures created by a local Edmonton artist. And these colorful installations have been featured at City Hall and libraries, schools, and other public spaces. And what's great about this is they are available to borrow from us. So if you are interested in, whether it's an office, school, public space, or potentially a climate or environment themed event where these would be, we're to think about air quality, you can contact us at changeforclimate@edmonton.ca, and you can request it for your space. Next, I want to talk about the AirBeam kit, which is available at Edmonton Public Libraries. That's this guy right here. So the AirBeam is a small handheld device that measures PM 2.5. So Selena talked about that as well. They're tiny particles that can affect your lungs and heart. And it pairs with your phone via Bluetooth and maps readings using GPS through the app that's compatible with it, the Aircasting app. So Selena covered this as well. Just what is fine particulate matter? PM 2.5. That's particles less than 2.5 microns. So that's like 30 times smaller than a human hair. And they come from vehicle, industrial emissions, wildfires, wood burning, construction, road dust, things like that. But they're so small, as Selena mentioned, they could enter deep into your lungs, even into the bloodstream. So that's the particulate matter that these devices measure. So what you'll find in the kit that you can get from the library, it looks like this. It comes in a kit that you see on the left here, includes the AirBeam 3 sensor. So that's the latest model of that we've recently updated at Edmonton Public Libraries. And just knowing that's compatible with iOS or Android devices. It comes with a charging cable. And as you see on the right, this quick start guide. So that walks you through, it gives you some information about air quality and then a step-by-step guide on how to set it up, how to connect it, and how to use it. So, so what you'll need, in addition to the kit, is just a smartphone or a tablet. As I said, iOS or Android works, and the air casting app, which you can download from the Google Play or Apple App Store. And yeah, you'll just then need Wi-Fi or cellular data to connect it to the maps. So it's really fun to use. It's really interesting. So using the app, you can choose between a mobile session. So you can take it for a walk, ride your bike. So there's some examples on the top right there. Or a fixed session. So you can hang it indoors or just outside your home and or workplace and record a fixed session over time. So you'll see the live readings of PM 2.5. It also shows you temperature and humidity. And when you're done, you can then view the session on the aircasting crowd map. So it's a great way to explore how air quality changes around the neighborhood in different weather, different conditions, different traffic areas. And after you're done the session, you can then reflect, see what you learned. So you can reflect, where were the particulate matter PM 2.5 levels, where were they high, where were they low? How did things like wind and temperature affect the readings? And yeah, did those readings match what you were expecting? So yeah, there's a couple example sessions I took. One where my daughter was cooking upstairs and actually something, yeah, caused a little smoke in the house and that, and it had a real peak. So that was really interesting. So so the aircasting map, you can see that at aircasting.habitatmap.org, or you can scan that QR code and you can explore all these other sessions around the world. But you can zoom into Edmonton and see what's how people are using it there. And all this is, you know, what can we do? How can we make a difference? Selena outlined great things. A lot of these sort of repeated here as well. But what we can do to improve air quality, you know, driving less, avoiding idling, you know, consider an electric vehicle if you're looking for that for your next purchase. Sealing your home, so that energy efficiency, air sealing, things you can do at home, caulking, weather stripping, keeps the smoke out, saves energy. And other energy efficiency things like using heat pumps. Heat pumps work for heating and cooling. So other energy efficiency things like windows, doors. If you didn't see, you can check out our previous Lunchbox session on home energy use and retrofit financing and learn about our clean energy improvement program. And there's financing available through the city for those types of energy efficiency improvements. Other things like using indoor air purifiers, air filtration systems, and in our homes, in our buildings, or switching to renewable energy. And then reducing wood burning, controlling dust, whether it's in the garden or moving earth around, and yeah, planting trees. One program at the city is the Root for Trees program. That's the City of Edmonton's volunteer tree planting initiative. Encourage you to check that out if you're interested in getting involved with the tree planting. And talking with your neighbors. So start conversations in your community. And you know, a great thing around you know, taking care of our neighbors, making connections during heat waves, poor air quality days. If you exchange numbers with a neighbor, check on each other during these types of weather events, and to make sure you're okay, or if someone doesn't have air conditioning or things like that, that they can take some respite in a neighbor's home. So as Selena mentioned, you can even become, she mentioned our Neighboring for Climate program. So if connecting with your neighbors, that sounds good to you, you can become a climate connector through the city's Neighboring for Climate program, and I'll have a bit more on that shortly here. But yeah, if you're ready to try the AQHI Light or the AirBeam kit, you can visit edmonton.ca/air quality to access the guides, the links, and more resources about air quality. So you can visit your local Edmonton Public Library in person, And of course, online at epl.ca, and you can place a hold on an AirBeam kit today. So then please help spread the word. You know, these tools are most powerful when they're shared with others. So we encourage you to let others know about it. Okay, thank you for letting me share those. So we're now going to open the floor to some questions. So this first question that came in here, so I think Selena, this one I'll read it out. It's more towards the Airshed. So how is the federal government's data sources different from the community level data? Do they gather their own AQHI data?
So the short answer is it's not different. The data that you are seeing from the federal government, Weather Can app, the weather.gc.ca website, that is coming from our monitoring network. So the City of Edmonton's AQHI, wherever you're seeing it, is coming from a collection of 4 stations: Edmonton Landrum, Macaulay, Edmonton East, and Woodcroft. So whether it's on the provincial AQHI map, our ACA data map and webpage, or Environment Canada, it is all coming from our stations. We push the data out to them and they run their calculations, and that's how it's shared. So again, it's from the continuous monitoring stations. The microsensor data that we also talked about, that is not used in the AQHI calculations.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, I find that distinction clear too, that it's the same data, it goes to different sources. And okay, our next question, that's directed my way. Yeah, so the PM 2.5 kit at EPL, okay, it's a good question. Does it still only work on Android devices? And yeah, for someone who only has an Apple device. So that's good. So they work on both. So these are the new AirBeam 3 monitors. And there was a previous one we had available at the libraries as well. So the kit, so that's probably one you tried out. And that was yeah, earlier version that was only compatible with Android devices. So that was a limitation to those. So just this year, we've updated all the kits. So all the kits at the EPL are now on AirBeam 3 and compatible with both Apple and Android. So I'm excited to do because I've been playing around with a lot on Apple devices and it works great. So okay, so this one might be Selena, if you have any knowledge. I have an IQ Air app on my phone that I use for air quality checks. Is this tied to the air quality index?
So I unfortunately don't know a whole lot about that app. There are many different apps that use either an air quality index or an air quality health index. If you're seeing a number from 1 to 10 plus, then that's the AQHI. If you're seeing something like in the 0 to 500 range, that's generally the American Air Quality Index. And there are other countries throughout the world that have their own air quality indexes as well. So it's I can't answer the question specifically as I'm not super familiar with that app, but I would just on your side do some research into what it is showing you and where it's what number it's displaying for you.
Yeah, no, it's great to see lots of interest, you say, in AQHI. Of course, with that is different apps, different things, different readings. And so it's great to know that, yeah, the provincial map here, the federal one here, of how that we know that that's getting data from the Airshed. So
Yeah, so I'll always recommend our local Canadian apps and over other ones. Not to say they're not good. We just don't know necessarily where they're getting their data from. So it's a little harder to say yes or no to those apps.
so yeah, if you want to learn more, just read that Alberta Capital Airshed at capitalairshed.ca, and lots of resources and information there. Then the City of Edmonton, the site we just listed again, the edmonton.ca/air quality, and our Change for Climate. So there's a whole range of other resources related to our programs and initiatives at the city here at edmonton.ca/change for climate. And just want to read it, just another excellent resources that is the Climate Resilient Home website and guide. So that's found at climateresilienthome.ca. So it's a virtual home, and it has a companion guide that provides a roadmap for homeowners to learn how to adapt their home for a changing climate and explore features that we can protect against wildfire, flooding, extreme weather, and increasing temperatures. So some of the some of the energy efficiency tips, but also just home adaptation around the property, outside as well, things like that. It's a really useful site and very interactive. So I encourage you to check that out as well. And there's many other ways to stay informed about the city's climate change work. So be sure to follow us on our socials, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn. So yeah, big thank you to Selena. Thanks for sharing your expertise with us today. And thank you to my colleague Karen, who's handling today's logistics behind the scenes. Makes it run smoothly, so appreciate that. And thank all of you for taking your time, spending your lunch hour with us to join us today. So we hope to see you at another Change for Climate Lunchbox session soon. You can visit edmonton.ca/lunchbox series for future sessions. Thank you very much. And wish you all a terrific afternoon. And yeah, take care. Thank you, Selena.
Thank you for having me.